I was just saying, what if, because I know you said part of it is too frequent. What if you guys did like first Tuesdays, did one Tuesday a month or something like that? Just a thought.
Well, it depends too, because I got to get a full-time job.
Oh, I gotcha.
I think there's a motion on the table that we vote on that.
That's right.
I got to get something.
I have a little experience in that.
I second it.
The
All those in
motion
favor?
is made. Yes.
A motion has been made.
Okay, I didn't hear any opposing. Anybody abstaining?
Hey,
Okay, we're good. It carries.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
I would really love it if you guys sat over there. Because then I could look over at you, like if you asked me a question. Is that okay, Cody? How about you?
Oh, he usually just sits back on his computer.
Because you guys will make me smile. I'll be thinking about you. Just put little notes on your paper and throw it. Come on, Marissa. Come on.
Can I finish eating? I'll slide over there. I promise. I promise.
All right, fair.
Well, welcome to Pete on the Street.
Don't mind the camera or the pictures.
What is this? Tuesday, March 31st. Last day of the month.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
You know what tomorrow is?
Tomorrow's April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's always a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Yeah,
a fun
any
day
ideas?
for sure. Gosh, not yet.
Did you know in 2018, April Fool's Day and Easter are on the same day? I'm not joking.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In 2018?
Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I looked it up because
Forward
somebody
to
was
it.
telling me about it. It was
I imagine where you can
2017.
put in all those little plastic eggs. You could use to really.
No,
something
see,
really fun.
That's when you can hide the
Something
Easter
else,
egg.
right?
Of course, there's. That's when you can pretend to hide the Easter eggs. Have the kids go hunt for. Aha! April Fools! I didn't hide them.
If we could just think of like those great April Fool's jokes that we used to play growing up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And as a kid, it's almost, in some ways, I think it has even more value because you're a little more naive, you know what I mean? So it's like you buy them all. Of course, I still buy most of them. I'm like, oh, really? Whatever. Yeah, I'm the global one. I'm pretty easy to get, that's for sure. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. I want to make sure I get it right. The best way to do is have you just tell me what your name is.
Well,
My name is
Hi.
Calais Canoni LaFave.
Very good. Calais. I thought it was
Yes.
Calais, but I wasn't sure. Okay, very good.
Here comes the high winds.
Wow. Yes. Crazy weather
Thank you for
today.
having me, John.
Well, thank you for coming on.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited to talk to you. I have some questions for
Yes. Yes. So let's start off with you. So I know you've been really involved with nonprofits in the community. I mean, it's absolutely your heart. Maybe we can start with why. I mean, I know you have an interesting background, and I always have our why, right? So what's your why?
Yeah. The best way I could answer that question is I first got involved when I was in high school.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And we were encouraged to volunteer, and Head Start was the place, and Progress Center both.
Very
So
good.
I was a student of Head Start growing up, and my mom was a teacher. And so we all got to go there. And one of the best things about it I remember is learning, and my mother was a part of it. So I'm the youngest of 9. So
Wow.
So a lot of us
That's
got
a
to
good
go.
sized family. Very
Yes.
cool.
And then when I was in high school, we volunteered for a nonprofit, and mine was Progress Center. And I loved it, and it felt right to be able to give back.
Very cool. What is Progress Center? I've heard of it, but not really all that familiar myself either.
Yeah,
So.
Progress Center is wonderful. Phil Olson is the executive director there, and they have a brand new, last couple of years, a sensory room for children with autism.
Oh wow, great.
And that's also a great support network for the parents. But Progress Center does an incredible job, and they actually are one of the partner agencies that United Way helps and supports.
That's great.
Which
That's great.
I'm a little familiar with that.
Yes,
So-
yes. And I've always had a heart for autism. In fact, I've got a good friend that is a young adult autism. In fact, we went to a Blazer game last night. He just gets so excited, like when they're, like we're gonna get free throws and there's a foul and that physical content. And it's just, like when we were on a run last night. It's just, it's great to see somebody with that much excitement. It's just like I don't know how to explain it, but
They are an incredible gift. And
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
smart and they're talented and
oh, he's so unbelievable. He really is. His
Yeah.
knowledge.
always positive, very happy.
Oh, absolutely.
But their families too, it's God gifted them with somebody extra special, and it's a lot of joy, but it can be a lot of work. And so a lot of the agencies really help and serve the families of children of autism. LifeWorks is another one. So I got involved by being in Head Start and then
That's
volunteering
cool.
at the Progress Center.
Wow.
And then
I
one
believe
of,
it starts at a young age. If you're going to be a giver or license, it usually starts at an early age. Your parents help you get there, and you just seem to live your life that way. So
I think it's very important for kids to be associated with nonprofits, because I think that they should learn how to be able to give back, and
Sure.
you just never know when you're going to need those services. But nonprofit is as an individual in itself. You know, it's not because what you're doing is you're doing everything you can to serve the community back, volunteering or donating money or your time, and I think the world would be a lot worse off if it didn't have nonprofits.
I would agree. I would agree. And it's really cool that, you know, our government, you know, people might have, you know, arguments on pros and cons, you know, things going on in politics and government in general. But, you know, how cool is it that there is a place and structure where, you know, you can send those dollars and get the tax write-off, and there's, you know, there's ways that you can help, and the government supports that essentially. I'm trying to think of a better way to say it. But,
No, that's a good way to say it.
yeah,
I think especially now with the economy and the shortfall in our federal and state government, nonprofits are really relied upon to help
absolutely.
offset their budgets and their loss of support for its own programs.
Yeah.
So I think nonprofits are, you know, we're friends with the state and federal government, and they do
Absolutely.
financially support and help us. But I don't think that we could be one without the other.
Absolutely.
But you know, in the years that I was with United Way, it was a pleasure, and there was an incredible amount of agencies that were served, and but it wouldn't have happened without people volunteering and
Oh.
giving.
Absolutely. You know, and it was interesting too, as you were saying, that partnership. I think that's the other nice thing about it too, is that you can make your choice. Whereas, you know, if let's say that, you know, I think some people feel the government should provide all charity or whatever you want to call it, or hands up and helping and things like that. And I think because of nonprofits, you can choose where your dollars go. And even with United Way, I remember, you know, when I worked in different places and stuff, and they had the contributions, and you can even sub-segment where you want it to go. Like if you've got an area that you want to take care of, you can make that choice.
Yeah, that's probably one of the greatest things about United Way, how that was.
Yeah.
People could give, and then they could designate to where they wanted it to go.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think a lot of the reasons why United Way is the #1 in the nation is because it's based on outcomes. So I think the more and more people want to know that when they donate, that it's going to a good cause and there's great outcomes and the programs are being tracked. But designating your donation, that's pretty powerful. You know, and you could change it at any time. But, you know, for instance, let's say I may have given to Head Start or Progress Center because they impacted my life.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But every cause does that happens to be. And in my family, you know, it was really rough. You know, growing up, we had our struggles, and nonprofits were there to help us. And it was something that we learned to be able to give back to those who gave to us. And, you know, it was a blessing when I was brought onto United Way. So
Yeah,
I still support it.
that's great.
It's a great
That's great.
organization. Yeah.
That's important. I mean, yeah, I think it's, yeah, incredible organization, as you said. And you said volunteers. I mean, there's got to be an army almost of people that are behind that, isn't there? I mean,
Oh,
there's probably
yeah.
quite a few volunteers that are involved.
Yeah, you always have to give them the cause, you know, to do it. And
Sure.
we actually had the Day of Caring, which was, you know, hundreds of volunteers on a day. But it isn't just United Way. I mean, there's a lot of nonprofits in our community that really need our support. And
Sure.
I don't think people realize the work it takes to run a nonprofit organization. John Morelli with the Columbia Theater.
Yeah.
You know, and just talking with him and the work that he does
Oh,
is
absolutely.
incredible work.
Absolutely.
But the community needs to see it, they need to support it, and they need to, you know, go and attend their performances. And, you know, hospice is another one. Great organization, but most of them are, you know, ran by the support of others. So,
Sure.
you know, a lot of times if people can't financially give to something, you know, they could go and support it in some way or another.
That's
But-
just it. I've often said that we can all give something back. And
Mhm.
some people say, well, I don't have any money. Well, then, you know, even a limited amount of time, even if you're really busy, maybe you can give just a few hours to something that really matters. And
Yeah.
all of us doing that, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it all adds up. You know, sometimes people would say, well, I only have $5 to give, but they didn't realize that bought a whole classroom books.
Exactly.
You know, it does help and it all adds up. But I don't know, there's something about feeling good about helping others and giving and
Absolutely.
supporting it. But I think everybody should do it. It's something that I told my kids, and they sure helped. And there's a lot of kids that do. And the youth movement right now are incredible in philanthropy
That's cool.
and giving back.
That's cool.
So, but we have
That's
to set the way.
encouraging. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
That
there's
is
that
encouraging.
give.
I believe that too.
to causes like that. So, you know, you're giving, but it's not that you're necessarily looking to get something back, but you just get that, that feeling. It feels good.
Well, I think that's a key too, because, you know, I find it interesting that I feel like, you know, and maybe it took me a while to learn this, but, you know, I give to give with nothing expected in return, not even a thank you. Like, if I get a thank you, hey, that's great, that's a bonus. If something else comes from it, that's nice too. But you know, if you give with an expectation, that you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You know what I mean? So
I do.
just give. You know, find something you care about and give. Just do it.
That's interesting that you both said that, because that's absolutely true. If you're giving of yourself or your time or something in return, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know, you do it out of the kindness of your heart, and you just take a step back and, you know, behind the scenes, and, you know. But I agree with Melissa that, you know, if you're going to do something, it needs to be for nothing in return.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and that's in a lot of areas of our life.
And I will hear people say, "Why didn't you get a thank you?" Well, then you shouldn't have done it if you were expecting something, anything. You know what I mean? like you just do it.
Yeah.
You know.
I was
Well, I
pretty
think
good
you
at
should be expecting out of it is that you're helping somebody else out of, you know, a tight spot, and that hopefully someday they'll do the same thing, you know, for somebody else.
Absolutely.
paying it forward.
Yeah, paying it forward. You can't expect it, but you kind of hope maybe for that.
Sure.
part of it.
Everybody was
Yeah.
raised differently too. Everybody's made up differently. I mean, you know, for some people, maybe, you know, maybe they're so far down in their spot right now that even just, you know, just a smile maybe is their way of saying thank you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that's all they
Can I
really
share
do,
something with
so.
you though? Because in the experience that I had with United Way, I was at a particular event that we were having. And so we were at the table. And the people in my mind that maybe I would have thought would have came up and donated or done something, didn't. But the ones that I thought, oh, yeah, they could go maybe use the services, or they were the ones that gave.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so sometimes it's the people that have the least to give that give.
You know, I experienced that myself when I was for years I was on the board of the Woodland Community Service Center, and I was quite involved down there.
Yeah.
And we would have, a lot of times, our volunteers there were people that had very little to give, including even their time, but they gave it. You know, they gave what they could, did what they could, and I was just often amazed that people that would come down, even with the physical donations, you felt like they were giving you like their last coat. You know what I mean?
I
It
know.
was just amazing.
They may have that.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
may have that.
Absolutely. And that gets back to just give what you can give. You know, I mean,
How many-
all of us can do
how many
something.
times
That's
did-
just like within here, you guys are talking about that, people that come in any place.
Mhm.
I've noticed too that the people that come in that you wouldn't expect a tip from will give you a tip. Then
Yeah.
these highfalutin people that come in,
Yeah.
that know that drive up in these fancy cars,
Sure.
they come in with coupons.
Yeah,
I had one yesterday,
yeah,
buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
They don't even leave you a candy.
yeah. Isn't that unbelievable? Yeah.
Wow.
They don't. It's the people that you would not think
Yeah.
could afford, and you really feel guilty taking it because you know they don't have any,
Yeah.
but they will give you a tip. And the people that can give you it, that can afford to give you a tip, 9 times out of 10 won't do it.
Because
Wow.
the ones who are,
They just think
don't
they're better
have,
than
they know
everybody
what it
else.
feels like to not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right, right there,
Yeah.
right there.
And I think we're all to a degree influenced by our, you know, by things that we've had happen in life, whether it be, I mean, like I've worked in some jobs where tips were a part of it.
Mhm.
So like for me, I'd probably, you know, tip higher than average just because, I mean, just like you probably do, Lynn, because you're on that other side, you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of times that makes you, in fact, I have a hard time not, like, I've been in a place where I've gotten bad service and it's almost hard not to leave a tip. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you
Oh,
know,
come on, let's be honest.
You know,
Sometimes if we don't get good service, would you still leave a tip?
I have.
Oh,
I know.
What's that?
Do you leave a tip if you have really bad service?
Well, it's a very small one.
Okay.
See, it's the same thing here,
I
yeah.
don't know, that's first, the
Yeah.
small dime tip.
Yeah, my
or
brother
not.
got really mad at me because we
Yeah.
went to a Sherry's one time in Vancouver, and my mom was diabetic, and we asked for sugar-free pie for her, and the lady said, well, we don't have it. And I said, well, it's on your menu, and she says, trust me, we don't have it. And then another waitress came by, and I asked her, and she said, well, absolutely, we have it. So my brother put down like a $5 or $6 tip, and I said, no, you're not. Put that down on that table, I'm gonna take it. Because she doesn't deserve it. She was the nastiest waitress I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
but we ended up giving her probably $2.
I was in Portland one time,
It
and
does go by your service though.
Yeah.
That's true too.
I can't remember what restaurant we were at, but this waiter was so rude. We'd ask her for something. No. Okay, whatever. So we actually left a tip on a napkin. Never ate soggy waffles. And left.
There you go.
So it was literally a
Yep.
tip, a suggestion.
And
But
actually,
they say
I
that if you don't leave a tip, even if you leave just a penny or a nickel or something, that tells them they gave you poor service. Because if you leave
That's
nothing,
exactly
then
right.
they figure that you
Bad
just
service.
don't tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pennies are bad service.
and it's
Yeah.
actually, I mean, I know that's the way to do it. I do, but I'll admit I'm usually
But it's
So
not.
nice.
Because you don't know what kind of day that person's had.
Sure.
Yeah, but you know, when you're working
Sure.
in the public
I
and
know.
stuff,
you've got to go.
you
turn
gotta
that
go
switch.
beyond that.
Oh, I know.
You
That's
cannot bring your
I've been there in
outside
public and
work.
it is, it's hard
Let
stuff.
that happen,
Yeah.
because those guys are coming in, they're writing your paycheck,
Yeah.
and paying my rent. So you've got to be nice to them, or they don't come back. It's a very competitive world out
It's
there.
true.
It's not
It's
about
true.
you, so it's her.
Right.
No,
But you
it's
know what?
You're right. Somebody might get any subject. I mean, there we go. See, I proved it, right?
But a lot of it, when you get good customer service, it's because of the person. They would have done that in on the street. They would have been just as kind.
True.
It wasn't a
It's true.
role or a job. I mean, that's a part of their nature.
Yeah,
And I will say the
absolutely.
good thing about not rewarding them for their lack of performance is that it'll probably force them out of the industry. You know what I mean? And then someone that really is maybe a better fit for that position will replace them and people get better service. So that's the reason not to tip or tip very low is they'll figure out that maybe they need to.
Well, I was a waitress, so I know, but I think I was a good one. I think I was really
Good.
sensitive to, but I used to work
So-
at the Monticello. I was a waitress at 20,
Oh wow.
and I loved it though. I loved working there.
Yeah.
That was,
Cool.
I
I'm
really
very
did love it, and it was important to me. And that's actually how I found a lot of the people that I know now. Those are the connections that I
That's
built.
cool.
And actually, a gentleman used to come in with his wife, Ted and Ruby Palin, and he managed Lakeside Industries, which is a paving company in town. And I was kind of transitioning from one job as a waitress to something else that I wanted to do. And he said, if you ever look for work, look me up.
Wow.
And I did. And I
That's
ended up
great.
being hired as a Teamster, driving truck and trailer for Lakeside Industries for
Awesome.
10 years.
Very cool.
Yeah. I miss it. I want to do it again. I miss
I
driving.
can see some benefits in a job like that. I mean, it's like, as much as I like people, sometimes it'd be nice to maybe be removed from people, right? Like a truck doesn't talk to you, right? You
Right.
just,
You just turn on
you
the
just got it.
radio and it's just really good
Yeah.
music.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great
Just
job
keep
though.
somebody
Lakeside was
taking
a
my
great
car
place to
anywhere.
work. I loved it.
That's
I
very
loved
cool.
it. But
I've
We
heard
never
that from other people.
I have too. I have a good reputation.
yes, Tim Solver. Yeah, it is a good place. But I worked there for 10 years and I loved it.
That's great.
Yeah, it was different, but I loved it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So I have a question for you.
okay, I might have an answer. Let's see.
Have you made any big purchases lately?
Yes, pretty
Ding, ding,
excited.
ding.
Yes, a 1936 electric trolley car. It was converted in the 60s to be a drivable one. And, speaking of service, we've already, seen some things. For example, Lynn's Ice Cream Yogurt and More puts on a dinner for the community every year in conjunction with CAP. CAP helps us with that too, and some other local businesses. And
Love
we're going to
that.
actually offer it as a shuttle, because we've had a hard time. Some people, maybe, some of the homeless population, whatever it
Sure.
might have a hard time getting to where the dinner is. And so we're going to use it in that matter. We're planning in conjunction with Cook and KLOG a Fill the Trolley event that we're going to do.
Good.
And so we'll have people bring down blankets and canned goods and, whatever it might be. So we're
Yes.
working on that. And then, shuttles, like we're planning a shuttle between the lake and downtown for the car show during the 4th. And some things like that, Squirrel Fest is asking us if we want to be a part of that, so it's, we're gonna be busy.
Yeah, I was in an event
Very
last
good.
year when you had the trolley
So,
there.
That's right, over at Stewart Title.
I did.
Yeah.
For hours. I didn't ride on it because it was full every time, but I was going to.
That
But,
shows you it's popular, right?
I know.
So, yeah.
the
Yeah.
transportation part is crucial. Even whether it be with the nonprofit, and that just happens to be what I'm most familiar with right now. But
Sure.
the events that we would have, it was difficult for some families to get there.
Yeah.
There's,
absolutely.
to the events that we were having. So transportation was, key and crucial.
Yeah, we've wanted a shuttle the last few years and options. And I think it's fair to say, we've had a challenge in that area, getting a shuttle. And so,
Hmm.
so yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, the downside is It's not the ultimate shuttle in cold weather, you know, it is open air, you know, so, but it's something, you
It's
know, it's something, and so.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see it. Are you doing new graphics on it?
We're gonna have some signage on it from local businesses on there, and,
Yeah.
yeah, we got lots of sign. Oh, it'll be in, virtually every parade, and the partner Cook and Kale, you know, they're gonna be doing, you know, basically commercial spots every time we're in an indoor parade.
Are you working with John Paul?
Yes.
Great guy.
Yes, yeah, John,
Yeah.
actually, it was pretty
Big
amazing.
guy.
We get the trolley, and he messages me on Friday. So we got to get together and talk about this. And I was like, he's like, how about Monday? I'm like, no, Monday I'm busy. He goes, how about Tuesday? I was like, okay, I can tell he really wants to get together. So
He's
they've become a
wonderful.
main sponsor, so we're pretty excited.
Did you really?
about that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, you look at the radio station itself that's been around for so many years, and then
Absolutely.
John Paul actually lived here, you know,
Yeah.
for many, many years,
Yeah.
and then he ended up coming back, and he's hit the ground running. He's actually a board of director for United Way, and
Oh,
does a
very
really
good.
good job getting back that way.
very cool.
And he also partnered with the Candy Buyback with kids at dentistry. Oh, thank you. So yeah, well, good. I'm glad. I'm anxious to see that. Trial.
Yeah, and it's interesting how I actually met John Paul. It was right here in the show.
Really?
Yeah, it was. We were friends on Facebook before then, but you know, it's funny. I get questions sometimes. Do you know this person? And I'm like, well, you know, not necessarily, you know, but yeah, in some cases I do, some cases I don't. Cody, I don't claim him, but
Which one?
depends on the day, right?
I know who's gonna claim him.
Yeah.
Not a lot of
That's
people
right.
can claim him.
7 foot tall. It's impressive. It really is. You'll see everything.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Yes.
I hope I get an invitation. Yeah. Right.
You had to put a disc in, and it was like all commands and stuff, and it was
You're back.
I heard something called Oregon Trail.
I can remember we didn't have TV, so we're not
Yeah.
all young.
I remember back when milk was 25 cents.
Everybody's so young here, they probably don't remember not having computers. And I says, I remember when we didn't have color TVs, so we're not all young.
I remember
I listened to the radio.
TV in black
And let me guess, you walked to school barefoot.
And what's funny now
It's
is black
20
and
feet of
white's
snow
really
uphill, right?
popular.
3
Well,
miles.
because we lived in the Dakotas.
My grandma would always say that.
Both
I
ways are
remember
acceptable.
when milk was a nickel.
Yeah.
Yep, and the same time you invented toaster strudel,
We
right?
wanted milk with nothing cows.
Yeah.
But I remember that. I remember one year that my sister Alana, she lived in New York at the time, and I can't remember what year it was, but okay, let's say it was maybe 75 or 76, and she sent us this huge package in the mail, and it was one of those Pong Nintendos,
Oh,
and it had like these foam sheets that you would put on the
You
screen.
guys remember the ones
Sure.
that
And it was green if you wanted to play ping
And
pong,
coupon.
black if you wanted to play, I don't know, tennis or something, and all it was this little arm that would go up and the ball would hit and go really slow, and then it'd go up
I
and
see
hit
it
it.
in your
We thought
hand.
we'd hit it.
Oh,
Jackpot.
yeah.
We thought it was
Yeah.
the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And now it's a technology.
Yeah, and now
can't
that's
keep
something
up
you'll
with it.
find at a place in town called Classics, which actually is looking across the street.
Yeah.
They sell those old
They're coming
Atari
back.
systems.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Those are classics. Those are gonna be
Yeah.
worth something someday.
Yeah, and they have really started increasing value. The Ataris and and the old Nintendo, first Nintendo series, and
We
things
still
like
have them at
that.
home, but we got them put away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can't-
remember us getting an Atari. That was a big deal. Everybody was like, "Wow, you guys got one of those." So,
I told my kids, I said the best, they said to come for them because now it's going to be just anything that you think mentally will be
oh,
just that-
absolutely.
that ESP or.
That's and speaking of thinking mentally. They say that Google is testing some technology that will literally be able to read your mind, essentially, which seems kind of crazy. But yeah,
Kind of scary.
yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is. And they've already got some stuff that kind of goes along the lines. They get used to your speech patterns you'll notice on the Android-based phones now, you start to type something in, and it automatically give you choice words of what they think you're going to say based on your speech patterns and things like that. So, see with Google searches, you'll start to search something, and based on what you searched before you can even get the word, they're thinking you're going in that direction based on your patterns, stuff like that. Both cool and scary at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want somebody to always read my mind. I'm pretty transparent. I don't think it'd be shocking if anyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty,
No, it's scary. I mean, but it's here. You know what I mean? It's where we're going.
yeah, I was telling my kids the other day, so you're so lucky you've got these, cell phones and this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Not when I was growing up. They still don't believe that we should have them. It was
I
a
remember the
rotary
bag
phone.
phone. I remember my dad got a
Oh,
bag
answering
phone for his
machine
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you wanted to go visit a friend, you would actually go to their house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
talk with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that whole thing. I feel like, because sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like texting is so impersonal though. It's
It is.
important at times, but it's not getting, I would rather pick up the phone and call somebody
Yeah.
than text or email.
And there's a real concern that they've said for the newest generation growing up that they're becoming less connected with people on a personal level because of social media and texting and things like that, that you really don't need to communicate with people.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of it has to do with that parenting part or being an aunt or whatever it is, that you just, phones off at the table or call the person.
Yeah.
With my kids, I'd rather have them call me than text me.
Yeah.
Though it can be convenient at times, but I'm like this. I would rather
Yeah.
sit and talk with
Absolutely.
you and Candace and Lisa and Lynn
Yeah.
and Cody rather than texting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and it's been a long time since, people I just left an event actually over at Ashtown Brewery. I'm a new early edition Rotarian.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited
Great
about it.
organization.
Oh, yes.
What is their leading cause? Or do you know that yet? You started, so if you don't, it's okay.
No, that's okay. I actually know.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great service groups in our community. Rotary happens to be one of them. And,
Sure.
there was a lot of choices, and they're all great. They all do great things. They raise money and awareness, and then it goes right back into their community.
Absolutely.
So an example would be the Rotary maybe raises money for a park or a
Sure.
playground or a bench or scholarships.
That's cool.
So Bill
Like the
Markham-
water park, I believe
Yes,
was one of their projects, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm proud of that. I've really looked at a lot of the service groups, but the early edition Rotary did do that water park, and it was a lot of work. And so Bill Markham is the president right now, and John Chapman
Oh, cool.
from Peace Health is going to be taking over. But they had an event this evening, not too early quarterly event, so I got to go over there.
That's cool.
But as an
Congratulations.
example, that whole conversation, just over there talking to them and then coming over here, I mean, that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Just talking to people,
Absolutely.
looking at them when we're talking to
Yeah.
them. And so I think it's up to all of us to share with our youth, especially that if you want to talk to somebody, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Right. But we were talking about the bag phone.
Oh, bag phone, yeah. I remember my dad had one of the first cell phones, and I mean, it was what they call the bag phone. I don't remember those or not, but
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was bigger than most briefcases. I mean, it was about like this by this. I mean, it was a pretty big deal. Like,
Like
he
a
had
good
one of those.
smartphone.
People were like, whoa, but he, had a mechanic shop and then also was mobile. People could go and work on people's stuff where they were and that sort of thing. And so, he felt like it would be a good advantage to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was insane. Like, our phone bills today, I mean, you think of all they include, and back then, I mean, it was several dollars a minute. I mean, for every minute. Now, they throw on the phone for free as long as you pay for the data and texting,
It's
basically.
still
You know what I mean?
expensive though. But
It
it's so
is.
convenient to have.
Where?
It is. Huh?
Where?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, my plan's unlimited on calls. I mean, they really get you. Where they really get me is for the data. I mean,
Where you go
Yeah,
from?
true.
Sprint. Yeah, Sprint.
AT&T.
Oh,
US
yeah.
Cellular.
AT&T.
Lynn?
AT&T.
Cody?
Mobile.
Okay.
I have
Right.
Boost, and they don't get service anywhere out in the woods.
No, it's true.
I didn't get
That's true.
service at my house. I had to go outside.
I think AT&T is probably the best
I
service
get
I've ever
service
had.
everywhere.
Yeah, AT&T is the best.
Yeah.
I've
I
had.
get service.
But-
I get service everywhere at this one.
I've
My
never
mom-
not got
My mom has H2O and got service out where we were, and that was way out in Stella.
I've never
Wow.
heard of that before. H2O?
Yeah.
Water.
See, look, if you have AT&T, and you want to switch,
Mhm.
H2O, you got to go through wireless and more. But H2O is basically, it runs off AT&T towers, just cheaper plans. For $35 a month, you get 500 and some odd megabytes of data on your phone for internet, unlimited talks and text. 45 gets you 1 gigabyte, and 50 gets you pretty much unlimited gigabytes of data. Mine, well now since I pay online, $38 gets me 2.5 gigabytes, which lasts me pretty much all month. But the only thing I like about Boost, their phones are cheap.
Oh, okay.
And you can unlock them in pretty much any phone.
Pros and cons to them all, isn't there? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
Choices.
the one Lynn has, AT&T, man, I used to have AT&T, and I felt like the coverage was superior. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Sprint, you know, gives me more data. What I do, I go with the data.
Yeah,
There's times I
I'm
wish I
gonna
had
go with
AT&T.
AT&T
I'm
on
like,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have
AT&T
US
as well.
Cellular,
So-
I-
Well, it's nice to be able to, when
Yeah.
you're talking to somebody, that you
Saturday
can hear
morning.
them.
Absolutely.
And I feel like
Oh, yeah?
I've had a couple of different, but AT&T is where I always go back to. You know what? It's not cheap still.
That's just it. I think they're probably the
I'm
problem.
with US Cellular.
It's kind of like the whole get what you pay for. I guess.
I'm with US Cellular. I was out at,
But I really like AR-15s.
Yeah,
out towards Castle Rock, way up,
Pleasant Hill,
Oh,
headquarters,
no, farther, past,
Silver Lake.
well,
Toledo.
closer to that area.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Way up.
Tower
Got to
Road,
be a
Tower
prize if we
Road,
get.
Tower Road.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Tower
right.
Road, okay.
That's right.
That's how Tower Road. My niece has a black or an iPhone.
Okay.
She couldn't get nothing. I had full service.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, that's she's with you. She's with AT&T.
Wow. Wow.
That surprises me because I've been all over and I've never ever not been able to dial out or get in on my phone.
Yeah,
I've never
Yeah.
been able to.
Sometimes it's.
I can get the reception everywhere I've been.
I was even in a place called Fossil. If anybody knows where that is, I got AT&T
We were at
to work out
hospital.
there. I'd have got like on top of the
Fossil?
hill. Yeah.
I have service.
It's in
Right,
Central
Cricket.
Oregon.
Some
Yeah,
old
Central-
place?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of fits. The name kind of fits.
yeah,
But
Frank.
yeah, there's
There you go.
there's kind of a ghost town out there that's called Wyland, and then they've got some on the lake and everything.
Wyland?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, Wyland Lake.
I know exactly where that's at.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So yeah, it's closed now. You can't even
Yeah.
go out there for some
I've
bought
been
all
there.
the land. And, okay, very cool. Yeah, Fossil's a little town before you get there. And
I've heard
Yeah.
Fossil.
yeah, it's been a long time since I've been there, probably 15 years. Or so.
Destination places. Where would
Yeah.
you like to go?
Where would I like to go? Gosh,
Yeah.
like anywhere in the world.
Yes.
I think Europe would be really cool because then really narrow it down. Italy, Italy would be really cool.
Candace?
Australia.
Australia would be cool.
My brother was in Australia. He said it was one of the most beautiful places he's ever been.
I could
I
see.
He's
have-
been all over.
I have two ladies
Yeah.
on Facebook who are from Australia, and
You need
she's
more
invited
data.
Elisa and I down.
Really?
Yes.
My son has been there. He loved it.
Mhm.
Yeah. How about you?
Australia.
Australia?
How about you, Len? Where do you want to
I
go?
think France. I don't know.
France would be cool. Go see
Very,
Nicola
very
Batum.
romantic.
Go down the canal and all that kind of
That
stuff.
would be cool.
Cody?
New York.
New York?
Wow, cool. That would be cool.
Somebody
It's
was
great.
just
Like
telling
always.
me, oh, I heard it on the radio this morning on my way to work.
Yeah.
They said they
yeah,
did a
I've never been.
poll
Yeah,
of
that's cool.
where the most unfriendliest people
Mhm.
were located. Did you hear it? I was coming in and I heard it, and they said of all places you would have never dreamt, New York.
Yeah, I
Wow.
heard that too.
New York
Wow.
was the most unfriendliest state.
Really? I wonder.
Yes.
I wonder if it's. I wonder how they retrieve that data
I
because
don't know.
I think it's just such a busy city. I love New York. I
Yeah.
love New York, and it's so busy. I think that's just probably the place in the world where people are just in passing. They don't
Tuned
really
out.
have, like
to
here.
the
Busy.
world.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was
So-
surprised when they said that, and so were the people on the radio. I listened to Cookin, and that's what they were saying. I was
Really?
coming to work this morning.
Yeah,
That was one of the first
I,
things I noticed when I moved here is strangers would occasionally say hi to me, and I'm like, yeah, doesn't I know that, you know? And it's like, you don't
Yes.
have to know a person to say hi to them here, you know? It's
that's
kinda
probably
cool.
one of the reasons why
So-
we never probably moved from here. Because I mean, just with Alyssa and I, how we know each other through St. Rose. You know, we grew up together, and then of course I met Candace, and I've known Cody, and I don't know, it's just that town, you know, that's
Absolutely.
so comfortable. It's what I know. But with my kids, you know, I always wondered where Kalani and Miley would go once they, you know, got their jobs, and would they move away? But they both very complimentary said that they would, you know, want to move back to Longview and raise their family.
That's cool.
That's a compliment.
Absolutely.
You know, people
Absolutely.
are incredible, and this town is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, we moved here in 1962, and
Wow.
the youngest of 9, and you know, that's
That's
where we know, and a lot of my siblings are still here, and my mom, and but I can't think of any place that I would rather live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Though I would like to go
Yeah,
back
ask
to
2 more
Hawaii.
people though. Cody, where would you want to go?
Yeah.
You really want to know?
Maybe not.
Anywhere but Cowles County.
Okay, there you go.
I've lived here all my life.
And how about you?
Oh, wow, good question. Well, you know, I'm always going to sit, well, my daughter lives in Hawaii, she goes to college there, so I love Hawaii, that's where my father was. My mom is there a couple of years ago with my mom and my daughter.
My mom was from Montana,
Really, where at?
Glasgow.
Glasgow, okay. So
It's over
living,
by Great Falls
Mhm.
in that
It's
area.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I
I
have
love,
cousins that live in Great Falls.
That's cool.
yeah, it's great. I'm going to say, Greece for some reason always has
That would
come
be
to
cool.
my
Yeah.
mind.
That'd be neat.
And I think it's because I saw a poster years ago, and there was something about, sometimes things hit me, a song or there's some visual that sticks with me forever, and that photograph of Greece was beautiful.
That'd be cool.
And Hawaii is always going to be a place I love, but Italy would be really beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Are you a romantic at heart?
I think on some level, I don't know. I think we all are, right?
Yeah, are we?
So,
I mean, there's places, right, that you think of and you think, oh, I'd
I'm
like to
not
be
saying anything.
Hawaii
I'm
is
not
definitely on my list.
I am not
mean,
inserting
I-
foot
yeah,
into the mouth.
I'd love to go to
Okay.
Hawaii sometime. I really would.
there. And any particular island?
Haven't given it that much thought. Just warm and you know, the beaches and you know, just the thought of, you know, I mean, the whole experience with the
Mhm.
flowers and all that stuff. I
Oh.
just think it'd be cool.
Have you been there
Actually,
before?
go. That there's a Hawaiian.
Yeah, I
Funny
saw
there.
that. This is the Hawaiian themed area, but if I could give you a suggestion. Okay, so Big Island, we were talking about that, you know, that's that vintage, you know, island. It's,
Sure.
you know, it's not really quite gotten caught up with Oahu, which people love it there. You know, Hawaii is the biggest of the islands, and they have the Kona side, the Hilo side, and volcano right through it. It's beautiful. But it's a little older. You know, it's not as populated as Oahu is. And, you know, people think Honolulu is a city. Well, it happens to be my
Yeah,
favorite
there
island.
you go.
I love Oahu. I like to be able to go to North Shore or through the Pali, or so I love Oahu. It's my favorite island. My kids prefer Maui. It's a little bit more laid back, not as much to do, not as much concrete and buildings. But I've never been to Kauai. I heard it's the island for
My sister-in-law was there last summer with her husband for the second time.
yeah.
Wow.
And my mom and my older sister were there several years ago, twice in
Wow.
a year's
They love
time.
it.
Yes, because it was so quiet.
They say
I
that
came
most
this close
couples
to
go
going.
there.
I came this close to going. I was actually I worked with a company. We did mortgages, and we had a contest going, and they were sending, you know, some people across the country, and I was literally one loan. One more loan funded would have sent me to the Grand Wailea Resort, which I guess is, I mean, I saw the pictures. And I talked to people that went, you know, but it's like one of the premier places you can go, I guess, in Hawaii. But
Can I tell you how I got there first?
Huh.
Okay, so I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I was 21 years old, and I hadn't been there. And of course, you know, we have a big family, and my parents worked extremely hard for
Sure.
everything that we had. But I always wanted to go to Hawaii. So do you remember when Bonnie and Clyde's was one of the clubs on Ocean Beach? It's hung far low now. Okay, so they had a hula hoop contest. And they had it for 6 weeks in a row, and every Saturday they would have a winner. So I thought, oh, I could hula hoop a little bit. So I remember winning the second week, and then all 6 of us had an opportunity to go back on the final night to win a trip for 2 to Hawaii.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
So in those weeks, I lived on my own. I was a waitress at the Monticello, and I had an apartment right behind the Monticello. And I went to Longview Travel and got a brochure on Hawaii, and I would set it up on my couch, and I learned this routine with 4 hula hoops, you know, spinning. I mean, in my apartment for weeks, playing AC or
Cadillac or
No.
what's the other ones? Thunderstruck or.
You know what? I'm gonna remember it before we're done. And I was ready to go. The night we get there, I'm sitting down waiting, and my family was there, my best friends were there, and one of the girls came out that won one week, and she said, "Did you hear what we have to do tonight?" And I said, "No, I just assumed it was a routine." And she said, "No, it's whoever does the most hula hoops for the longest amount of time."
Oh.
And I was like,
wow.
"Oh no, I've never done more than one hula hoop." But luck was on my side. I ended up doing
Wow.
32 hula hoops for over a minute.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I felt like I did about 1 million sit-ups. It was good exercise,
Wow.
but I
Oh,
won
I
the trip to
bet.
Hawaii.
That is amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I took
Very
my
cool.
girlfriend. So 21 with my best friend in Hawaii. It was an incredible
How
experience.
cool is that?
It was
Wow.
really cool.
Win your
Very
way there. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I want a trip to Mexico.
You did?
Yeah, Puerto Vallarta.
How'd you win it?
Well, actually, the Blazers, they had this thing. They still do it today. They call it the fifth quarter on the radio show. And they have what's called the nonstop score. And so you call in, and if you're the right caller, you tell them the nonstop score that night. It was Rasheed Wallace. So that was a few years ago. And they said, okay, you want a pair of Blazer tickets, and we'll enter you into a drawing for a pair of airline tickets anywhere Alaska flies. And so they sent me a voucher in with it. And they said, go anywhere Alaska flies. And Puerto Vallarta was one of the destinations. And they said, for $75 extra, we can upgrade both seats to round trip first class. And I was like, yeah, I'll be the first class, you know. And so, yeah, first class round trip. I mean, I didn't have to pay for the place, but for the room. But yeah,
Did you love it?
it was really cool.
How old were you?
It was really cool. I would guess about 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good memories?
I guess. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that was kind of an interesting challenge, though, was all the time sure people would chase you all over the place. So we had to get
If
really
you
good
just
at
come and sit and watch this one meeting, we'll give you,
that. Exactly.
But I will say that there's a lot of people that do that for that free night or that
Oh,
free
sure.
gift.
Sure.
I've not done that yet, but I'm not opposed to it. But I can see why people would do that
Oh, yeah.
for 2 hours of your time.
Oh, sure. I could see it too. And on some of the offers, like I remember the first night, there's this guy, he walks up to us and he's like, hey, can I help you guys find something? So we're looking for a restaurant. Oh, great. I know, great. What do you need to follow me? And actually, we were following him. And I mean, yeah, it was all about his
Got
pitch.
you all hooked
Oh, we're
up?
closer, just another block or two. And he's like, I'll give you, I forget what it was like. I'll give you an excursion. I'm like, oh, no, we're good. Give me an excursion and like a Mexican blanket. No, we're good. And a bottle of rum.
And a
No.
flat screen TV. Just a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Why
He
is
just kept
all
adding
the
to
rum
it.
gone?
Yeah, he really wanted us to come to that presentation. But
wow.
and then we had somebody tell us, well, you just tell them that it's your last day and you're going back home, and they won't have time. They won't get time to schedule you.
Mhm.
So I tried that on somebody, and they said, you don't even have a tan. You just got here. I was like, oops. That didn't work. Yeah, so I've been told I'm a bad liar. It's like it just shows, I guess, or something.
So I'm going to have to know before the last show, which I'm very sad about, by the way. Is it May 26th or something? This is the last show?
May 26th.
May 26th. Candace, I'm really sad about it. Jones?
Yeah.
So are you going to have like a reunion on that last show?
We're gonna
day?
have as many as
Concert.
Oh,
Kinda.
We're
Yeah.
having
Fred Carter.
Fred Carter's coming in.
He's been on a few
And
times.
Carl
yeah.
Workla.
And Carl Workla.
really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Carl Workla actually does some local jingles. One he did for Lynn's, I've never heard it, but it goes something like, well, Lynn's Ice Cream, yogurt and more is the place to be.
Have you ever
Or the
listened
burger
to
and the
Carl?
dry, and a
Sing?
little bit of more ice cream.
No.
He's country, and he's been
Yeah.
to Nashville, 4 times, I think, and he's got isn't it 5 or 6 CDs?
Yeah.
Really?
I have two of
It's
his
kind of a
CDs.
throwback.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Kind of reminds me of Johnny Cash.
I
Yeah.
love Johnny.
Well,
Yeah,
Waylon
really
Jennings
Johnny
is his favorite, so
Yeah.
he kind of goes.
Yeah,
that
right in
direction.
that
Yeah.
realm.
Yeah, so they're going to be in here singing together that
Yeah.
night.
On the
So,
26th.
Yeah, and everybody's welcome to come
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, bring Rich.
May 26th.
Uh-huh.
Bring him?
Bring Rich.
5 to 7.
Rich? Yeah, maybe I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of
Perfect
Rich,
night.
Yeah.
he's actually playing a concert, a performance at the Columbia Theater in November.
Very exciting.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
November 21st.
Very cool. What kind of
Yeah.
music does he sing?
Well, he's going to have different types of songs, jazz.
Cool.
He's also going to be singing some tangos.
Wow.
And yeah, he's good. Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Elisa and I saw him at the, what was that called? It used to be where First Federal used to be down upstairs. It was downstairs
Yes.
that Martha put on.
Uh-huh.
And then he came in here and played.
He did.
Here.
What did he play for you?
a little bit of everything, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. He had all of his he had quite a few instruments. I remember he set up over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an incredible
Took
musician.
him like an hour to set
Yes,
up
he
right down.
is.
Did it?
That's the night I had Cody's
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, he had a bunch of stuff.
So November 21st, yeah, he'll be playing at the Columbia Theater, which again, that's going right back to the Columbia
cool.
Theater. They have some incredible performances, and people, they need to support it. That's one of those, beautiful. I remember going to the double matinees there, and you watch 2 movies, and in between they'd give out prizes, and
Yeah.
it's an icon in the community. It's a jewel.
And to think it was really saved by Mount St. Helens, as I understand it. It was scheduled to be torn down.
Mhm.
And then because of St. Helens, they got delayed in construction. And
Oh.
yeah.
Didn't know
And
that.
so they actually ended up getting saved. But yeah, it was set to be torn down at one
Wow.
point. Yeah. So how sad would have that been? I mean,
Oh,
you know.
yes.
I'm going
Such
to
treasure.
Thursday night to see Carpenter and that other group that's coming with him.
So that's
Very cool.
Thursday.
We left it
Yes,
together.
Court Carpenter does
something.
Yeah.
good. Well, that's good. I hope everybody supports it again. That's just one of those things, kind of like the mansion. They have this new owner that's
Yes.
renovating the mansion,
That's exciting.
and I think they're putting a lot of heart and soul into it, and it's going to be.
I can't wait till it opens up again.
I'm so
Yes.
glad that they got an owner. I just wish they could get one for the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the hotel. That's another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The
That-
hotel is for sale, but
See
Yeah.
where it made the paper again today?
yeah, I did.
No, I didn't. I don't get the paper.
Yeah.
What was it? Did it-
Why?
Yeah.
Another one.
Unfortunately.
and hit and run with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
and
with
hit
it
run with
too. Yeah.
And did you see where the lady that he hit says, "Oh, I've really got a headache." Well, you know where that one's going. She was
Oh,
rear-ended her. Lawsuit.
Oh boy, that's too bad.
And that's
That is
And then he ran inside and they had to go in and find him and get him. And
Wow.
the paper said he was still sitting in jail when he made his bed.
And I know it was
sad
pending.
because that's a historical spot,
Yeah.
and he's the owner, and all that does is just
Makes it look even worse.
for for the community.
What
Have
I
you
think
been in there lately?
What I think of when I think of the Monticello, though, John Tilson, John and Mary Tilson.
Oh, absolutely.
Incredible couple.
Yeah.
When I was a waitress there, the first time we had the 75th anniversary of the hotel, and they came, and he was Robert A. Long.
Oh.
Striking, because somehow down the line.
Yeah, he's related. I
He's
didn't realize
related.
that so recently.
To Robert A. Long.
Yeah.
But his photograph in comparison to Robert Long is incredible.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I was reading something today from the Kelso Historical Museum. And Dennis Weber was one of the writers of a story with Dr. Oglesby, I believe. And I just saw Dennis over at the event for Rotary and thanked him. I think, we've grown up here, so we want people to really learn about it.
Yeah, he was another former guest we had.
We have a
John
really
Tilson
neat.
was?
No,
History
John.
Yeah.
Dennis Weber.
Dennis
Yeah.
Weber, yes, county commissioner.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we were talking about,
Really?
how our community started, the people that have come
It's
here.
crazy.
Really, laid the
I wanna
foundation
go in there and
for,
talk to them, but
our community, but people need to know and learn more about it. And
I think it's.
it needs to be a topic in the schools.
Well, there's
Someone
even
wants to
people
charge
who
the
live here all their
ranger
lives
or
and they
whatever.
don't realize
Don't know if it's
that
free or
the
not.
petition for
Oh.
Washington to become its own state was signed right over here near Gerhardt. Right across the freeway
I wasn't
access
aware of
from,
that. That's
Where
oh,
they-
yes,
Your Heart Gardens area.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, down when
Oh.
you're going, where
So
the
it's
dump
Park
used to
area.
be.
Yeah.
On the
Yes.
other side of it where Gerhardt's at, there's that big old tree, that's where it was signed.
Wow.
That's where the
Yeah.
Monticello convention was held, was in that
Wow.
spot.
So see, we've learned something today.
Yeah,
That's
Mom
my,
said
that's.
There's tons of stuff that people know
Wow.
about this
Mhm.
area.
I often think what would have been like to have, to have lived here, like in the 50s, 60s when this, you think the 20s and 30s would have been cool, but it was the build, right? But by the time you got to the 50s and 60s,
1922.
this town was built and just thriving. I can just imagine what that had to have been like.
Oh, yeah. There's some great photographs of the city
Oh,
being built.
yeah. Yeah.
But they don't have the museum. The Kelso Museum's done an incredible job. David Freese over there. So I do encourage people to go over to that museum and look at the photographs.
Shout out time.
Oh,
Well,
Well, actually,
Yes.
any final final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Just go for it.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
And it's
thank you.
great, of course,
Oh,
to
you're welcome.
see everybody and friends new and friends that I've had in my life. And you've been great.
Great.
And
Yeah.
thank you. And I'll be here on May 26th.
Oh, good.
And hopefully I'll see everybody at
Bring 'em.
Rich's performance on the 21st of November at the Columbia Theater. So we want to support that. And just encouraging people to continue to live united through United Way as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Quick announcement. We have a networking event coming up in April,
Oh.
the 21st.
Do you know if Rich's tickets are on sale yet?
5:30 to 7.
Yes, Rich Heinrichson's tickets are on sale.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So if anybody is interested in going to the performance of Rich Heinrichson on November 21st at the Columbia Theater, the tickets are on sale online.
Very cool.
Yes.
ColumbiaTheater.com.
ColumbiaTheater.com.
Very cool.
Is
Okay.
there a way you can get them, or can you go to the box office?
You can also go to the box office.
Okay.
So,
Very cool.
So we're excited about that. So yeah.
So you ready for the shout outs?
Sure.
All right. Let's hear the shout outs. Is that it?
That was a shout,
Say
wasn't
that
it?
one more time. I didn't hear
Yes.
you. Thank you.
All right. I lost it a long time ago, Cody. A very long time ago. You know, that's a debate for another day. Anyway, shout outs. Donna from Randall, Ray from Longview, Dane from Germany, Anne from Longview, Rachel from California, Elisa from Kelso, which is also over here. Aaron from Vader, Michael from North Dakota, Renee from New Hampshire, Connie from Cleveland, Connie from Winlock, Debbie from Vancouver, Christine from Longview, Darcy from Longview, Gail from Australia, Vitalis from Kenya, Martha from Tacoma, Susan from England, Jamal from Africa, Stephen from Portland, Rich from Seattle, John Favorite, TJ from the Midwest, Lynn from Victoria, BC, Mark from Pennsylvania, Amelia from Longview, Black Dog Hat from the UK, Paul from Seattle, Garina from Seattle. If I don't say your name right, I am so sorry. Carol from Longview, Avery from Longview, Jack from Greenville, Ohio.
Wow.
These
Yeah.
are really popular.
Worldwide.
We
That's
are.
wonderful. Yeah.
We are worldwide. I can't say it right now. I'm tongue-tied.
Cody, you did a really great job. I just want to thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
He started with the show. When
I started the show 6 years ago.
Wow.
Well, no.
5.
5 years. No, I've been with the show 6 years.
Okay.
The show's been on 7.
Oh, okay.
I started a season before, after it started.
Will we have Ray at any of the shows between now and the end?
No,
I don't
probably
know.
not.
I don't
Okay.
have a
So that'd be
I'm
cool
not gonna
if
lie,
possible,
probably.
but yeah.
Ray's
He's
busy
got a
with.
pretty busy schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
So May
Good job.
26th.
May 26th is the last show.
I'm gonna be here on May 26th.
Okay, and I'll send you.
Sad. Yeah,
Look forward
I'll
to
be
it.
here.
I'm gonna have a cake. We'll have a cake.
Don't worry, there won't be any booze, so I'll keep my clothes on.
We don't want to see it anyway.
Hey, actually, if you go on YouTube,
No, thank you.
Oh, no.
you can actually see a lot more videos of me, like falling down from a skateboard, the truffle shuffle.
And I'll send you the link over to your site tonight.
But that's another story for another day, Cody.
Yeah, don't want to hear it.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. Any more announcements?
Space Short's doing anything.
Is LCC putting anything on?
Tryouts for the Woman in White are
Tryouts
next
for the
Monday
Woman
and
in White.
Tuesday.
For the Woman in White next Monday and Tuesday over at LCC.
And the spring quarter begins Monday.
And spring. I don't think anybody really wants to do that.
I do because I get paid.
All right. And I don't know how far off this is, but if y'all want to join Friday night over at Valley View on 33rd Avenue, thing going on Friday night for those of you that do
There
go
was
to
a-
Kind of thing.
Oh, okay, there we go. Church service, probably, right?
Yeah, it's about the resurrection and whatnot.
Okay, cool.
Easter, yeah.
Okay.
As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, this
Oh.
weekend, the one that's out.
On 30th,
Oh, West Side
there's a
Highway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
they're
that
doing
too.
too for like
Yeah.
3 nights.
Those they're amazing.
I know on
Saw that today.
Saturday there's an Easter egg hunt. On 30th,
Probably not at the fairgrounds too. Mm-hmm.
you guys will have to look on Facebook for that because I'm not sure what times. I just know it's on Saturday between like 10 and 3, I do believe. All sorts of games for the kids, I guess. Free drinks, I think.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, non-alcoholic, should we say?
Yeah.
See this? She's putting memories into
No,
my
I'm
head
just
right
saying,
here.
maybe the Catholics are drinking a little bit of wine.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Communion.
Anyway,
Lots of it.
next week's guest is
Oh, is
Bo.
yeah.
Bo D'Artagnan, I think his last name.
Uh-huh.
And what does Bo do?
What does Bo do?
I don't know what the.
We're looking forward to
I guess we'll find
He went to
out.
LCC.
Look,
Oh, there we go.
Bo did go to LCC and he was on the show a few times when we were at KLTV
Many
as
times.
well as when we were at Bruno's and the lake. And yes, Bo's a good guy. He's our weatherman.
All right, cool.
Say so.
He is. Anyway, see you guys next week. Be here at 5:30 if you want dinner. Show starts at 6. Come in for a milkshake, burger,
Oh,
whatever.
Griffin.
12:32.
Bo
Commerce.
Griffith? Oh, it's not D'Artagnan?
No.
Where the heck did I get D'Artagnan at?
Because that's how they always talked about it was D'Artagnan.
Well, not only that, it's off of a movie
That's
too.
from the Three Musketeers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, very much good. So it's Griffin or Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
Griffin?
Close.
Griffith. We'll find out next week. So join us next week.
When I post it.
You'll be as surprised as we are.
And the host is John, right?
I believe so.
Then we'll find out who Mike is.
Okay, this is the host John again.
Yeah.
So you get to see his
Mike.
face again.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
That's it.
Yes, really enjoyed it.
See y'all next week.
We thank her so
All
much.
right.
I really need one of them clicker buttons, where I can just point at it and turn it off.
Hey, we did good.
Gosh, that was really fun.
But yeah, it was great to meet you.